At times life is wicked and I just can't see the light. A silver lining sometimes isn't enough to make some wrong seem right. Whatever life brings, I've been through everything, and now I'm on my knees looking, but I know I must go on, although I heard I must be.
The last video I made, I ended kind of abruptly, and I talked about learning how to accept myself. When I decided that it was time to come out, when it was time to accept myself if I was ever going to get better, I decided I had only one thing to do. I had to tell my parents. And telling my parents was the most difficult, hardest, scariest thing I'd ever done. And I told my father first, which was scary, and I broke down, I was very emotional. And when I told him that I was bisexual, because that's what I came out first as, because that was more comfortable for me, I hadn't even fully accepted that I was gay at that time. And he said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, "I don't love you any less than I did 5 minutes ago," and that blew my mind. And then I told my mother, and she was fine with it. The whole problem that they had was that I kept it from them for so long, but I told everyone else before I told them, and what they didn't understand was I had to tell all of those people first so that I could prepare myself. This whole journey that I was going on of trying to figure it out, talking to people, going on this religious retreat, was all for them, in a way. It was for me too, but it was for me to be able to tell them. My parents were always at the center of trying to discover myself so that I could be honest and open with them, because they were always honest and open with me. And after I came out, it was a change. My family dynamic changed greatly. They still loved me and accepted me, but it was more open and talked about. But that took steps and went from them just trusting me about how I was treating myself and the choice of friends that I was having, and how it seemed how not only did my sexual orientation change, but they felt that my personality had changed, that they didn't know who I was becoming, and it scared them. And it scared me too, because I was making a lot of bad choices as far as friends go, and you know, who I was going out with, and some of the boyfriends I've had been not so good for me, because you know, I'm not used to dating men. I don't know how that works. I'm still trying to figure out how it all works. You know, it's strange to live in a world where your body is your currency instead of your mind. And I don't know, that's my naive and innocent side coming through, you know. But nevertheless, a lot of things did change, you know. I mean, at first when I came out to my parents, they said, "Don't tell your sister, you know, we need to shelter her." And eventually, when I started dating boys, you know, I took it upon myself to tell her, and my parents said it was time. And her, my sister, I worry about her a lot, because not everyone understands it, you know, and she goes to the same high school that I went to, and it's people talk and people find out, and you know, kids can be vicious and mean, and I didn't have to deal with it in high school, but now she does, and I feel bad for putting that burden on her. But she's strong, just like me. And I also have come to realize that not everyone can be, you know, proud of being gay and making videos on YouTube to tell people about it. But I think my mission is important. A mission of telling people who I am. Now back to my story. After I told my parents, and I told my sister, the family dynamic really began to change. I mean, we started talking about it more. It was more open, but you know, they're still leery. They still throw around words like discretion, you know, like they don't want me to be too open about right outside the house. Or prime example, my neighbor built a huge wooden privacy fence to shelter the world and his family, to keep the world out from his family, i.e. me. He doesn't want to see anything that's homosexual. He doesn't want to see me and he has started fights with my father, but he's never directly addressed it, but we all know that's what it's about. And people like that are the people that hearts and minds need to be changed, that you don't need to build a fence around yourself to keep people like me out, because we're not a threat to the American family. We're not a threat to anyone. At least I'm not. And we need to tear down those fences, figuratively and literally, and let people know that I'm a person. And I just want to be loved, just like anyone else. And I've come to realize the value of being honest, open, and taking care of your friends, your true friends, not the people that come and go. And I'm veering off on a tangent. What my family has been for me has been my salvation, my grace, and people need to, no matter who you are, you need to value your family and never ignore them and rely on them. And that's what I've been doing, relying on my family to help me get through this. So I hope this has been interesting for you. I'll be making another one hopefully soon. So thank you.
Believe you can fly away. Yeah.